yeah, other neutral cards which look interesting with paladin. Oh shit, skeleton. We want to kill this guy for a grappling hook. If we can get a grappling hook, it means we don't have to mine for gems. I don't think we got one. We have 8 amethysts anyway, so fortunately we're out of lights, so we can't see too much down here. Yeah, other neutral one. There's a, what's it called? It's a 2/5 for 4 taunt with the fairy dragon effect, so it cannot be targeted by spells or hero powers. Excuse me. Seems very powerful. Seems like it could replace Engine. It's just a really powerful, sticky minion. Plus, it's a mech, which means it'll synergize with other mech decks. So a late game control mech paladin, something I've looked at, would need a lot of legendaries to be worthwhile, but it could work. Very easily work, to be honest. And that might be where we go with paladin in the future. But the thing again is, oh, there's a piranha. It just costs so much. These sorts of decks. I mean, it's a plague with control decks that they cost an inordinate amount. Well, there's 2 of them there. There were at least. Yeah, they cost a massive amount of gold and dust to get. And as a free-to-play player, I still haven't bought a single card or anything similar. Deck pack. That's the word I'm looking for. It's going to be hard, but honestly, that's something I like about Hearthstone is the fact that you can't just grab everything at once. You know, you have to put time in, and getting all these cards and building up your collection is half the reason I play the game. I actually stopped playing as much over the past 8 months. I still play it every so often, sometimes with friends, sometimes just play some arena, solely because I ran out of cards to collect. I enjoy collecting those cards, so this, in that respect, is great. But even so, when you need like 7 legendaries for a deck, that's a bit much. Since I've only seen like 4 legendaries so far, and I've dusted all but 1 of them. 2 of them actually. The 2 that I have kept were Thalnos, which I really don't use that often, and Tyrion, which is Tyrion. I play Paladin, so I'm gonna have Tyrion. The only other one that was really awesome was a Scenaris, a golden Scenaris. Oh, sick chest. This is a water chest, which means it's going to have water items in it. If we're lucky, we'll get some diving pals. If we're unlucky, we'll get a reeling rod. We sell that for money. Silver bar, though, that's nice. And a Spelunker potion. Let's actually drink one of those and see what sort of stuff we can see. Might not have been worth it, to be honest, since a lot of this stuff is just too far out of our way. But it could help us see some useful chests or heart crystals or anything like that. Visibility potion, not worth. Is that tin? No, it's gold. Okay. Let's just get a dirt thing going up here. No, what was I talking about? Free to play, but I was talking about something before that, but I honestly don't remember. Oh yeah, legendaries and decks being expensive. I mean, it's just an issue with Hearthstone that these decks cost a lot. And I likely won't be able to finish any of these decks, but I think I can still make some viable ones with the cards I'll be able to throw together, especially since I'll be playing a lot more now. We're back into the having actual cards that we can get easily. Common cards. I don't think I've actually seen a new common card for, like, that I haven't had in my collection for a year now. Maybe a bit less than that. But yeah, that's going to be nice. That's going to be fun. Other cards which look handy besides that, there's what's his name? Gazlo, something like that. He's like a goblin. He's a 6 cost 3/6. Shit stats, yeah. But he reads, his card text reads, whenever you play a spell which costs 1 mana, place a random mech into your deck. And by random mech, I am almost certain it means class specific cards as well. So like Mech Bear Cat, Man Bear Pig, whatever it's called. Oh shit, another one. We have no gold though. Is it even worth it? I say as I mine up all this gold, which unfortunately doesn't sell for shit. I think we're just going to ignore that, to be honest. We don't have anything we can buy from that. What is that there? Is that more gold? Yeah, so you get around the mech whenever you play a one-cost spell. Now, if you hadn't realised, if you hadn't known this, Paladin has the most one-cost spells in the game, with a total of 9, which is a total of 18 since you can have 2 of both, which is crazy. Unfortunately, most of those are shit. There's a very few which are decent. There's like Avenge from Nextromus, there's Humility, there's the cards similar to this, which are, you know, decent cards. On top of that, there are spare parts. Spare parts are a new type of card which has been introduced in Goblins vs Gnomes. You can't get it, you can't pick it up yourself as a card. They come solely from minions, possibly spelled. Not sure about that. But they come up from a bunch of mech things, and what they basically do is they're 1 mana spells. All of them are 1 mana, and it's a random card. I think there's like 9 random cards. You can get like 1 mana freeze a minion, 1 mana return this minion to your hand, 1 mana give a minion plus 1 health, 1 mana deal 1 damage to a minion, or stuff like that. I don't think that's one of them, but yeah, you get the idea. All small, very meager effects, but very powerful effects in the right area. Fortunately, the randomness does give it a slight issue, but the fact that they are all 1 mana spells and that they are very easily attainable through multiple means that it goes very well, synergizes very, very well with whatever his name is, Razlo. So that could be a card mechanic. We could see that. We could have a mech deck that runs a bunch of mech cards that give you spare parts, and Razlo. He's cheap enough at 6 mana to be playable. I thought there was a mouse there. Poor mouse is going to get drowned. Oh well. Cheap enough to be playable, and has crap stats, but gives you a buttload of mechs, which could be really interesting. Could, at the very least, will be a very interesting deck to play. It's fucking tin. I thought it was lead. Oh well. Let's go back to exploring this cave system, since we've just kind of been getting the ore that we could see. Yeah, so that could be interesting. We'll have to see. It might be shit, because I was looking at it trying to make a deck with that sort of layout, and it just wasn't working too great. I mean, I could see it. I made a decent deck. Spare parts. A lot of the spells that I thought, oh, I could maybe put this in, were just not good enough to keep in, and you just don't have enough room to put those things in. You need, you need removal, you need heals, you need taunts. There's a certain amount of cards you just, at the end of the day, say, I cannot take this out without, destroying the actual, basis for this deck. True Soul Champion, or Defender of Argus. So, there's that. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. Another cool card is Toshli. Another 6-drop. This one actually has decent stats. I think he's like a 6/7 or something. And his battle cry, as we were talking about spare parts, his battle cry, or his card text I should say, reads battle cry, give a spare part, death rattle, give a spare part. So it basically gives you 2 spare parts, which is really nice, and goes really well with Razlo, whatever his name is. So we'll see. That could be another one. Again, both these cards are legendaries, so unlikely to see me running those anytime soon. But could have a place in a for someone who actually has dust to spare. Are there any other cards which really make sense in Paladin? some mechs, really. The mech, was it mech warp or whatever it's called? It's a 2-3 for 2. Your mechs cost 1 less. Definitely have use in any mech deck. It's an auto-include in mech decks. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Paladin. I might be playing a little bit of other classes too. Mage looks interesting. Lots of cool cards. Depends on what cards I actually get from Goblins versus Gnomes. Yeah, because there's a bunch of I forgot I had almost no armor. These things hurt if you get hit by them. Yeah, Mage has a bunch of interesting common cards, so we'll see about that. What else is there? I don't know. Rogue has interesting cards. Shaman is interesting cards in that it has got Murlocs in it. It's legendary, which is a very, very strange one. Is a what is it? We should probably grab that chest. It's, can I even see the chest? Give me chest. Yeah, it's a 7/7 for 7. Overload 3. Puts 3 random Murlocs into your hand. Which is like, what? For a lot of people who weren't around in the very, very early days of Hearthstone in the beta. That's not really that early. There was alpha before that, of course. But there was something known as Murloc. No, what am I even saying? As Shamlock, which was a deck run by shamans that ran Murlocs. I know. Wow. And these Murlocs, these decks were pretty shit. It was most popularized by Jesse Cox. Running these decks went on for a while until it turns out everyone found out that Warlock were a lot better at it, and then everyone found out that instead of running synergies with these Murlocs, why don't we just run a bunch of better cards which don't need to synergize, and thus Zulok was born. But with this new Neptulon card, as it is called, Neptulon is the dude which, what is he? He is the elemental god, basically. He's a demigod, or whatever, lieutenant of the old gods and god of the water. Ooh. It's nice. It's too bad it's shit. Damage, fuck. Oh well, it still does decent damage. It's better than the bow. How much damage does it do? 9 compared to 4. Yeah, so we'll use this. Really bad though, that's damaged. Ugh. And there's no way for us to repair that. Not until we get Goblin Mechanic. Which won't happen until we get a Goblin Army coming, which is not going to happen for quite some time. Neptulon, yeah. The Murlocs are interesting. Shit, we got debuff. Since even, like, Murlocs are good because they synergize with one another. So even though you're thinking, well, this card only works with Murlocs, and Murlocs are only good with mid-range, you can instead think of this card as 7/7 overload 3, which is pretty expensive, by the way. It gives you a bunch of cards which will synergize really well with one another, which might be very decent. It's hard to say. Seeing as it doesn't have much of effect on the board, on the turn it is played, it doesn't have, it doesn't even have Divine Shield. Doesn't have that good of an effect since you don't have those Murlocs on the field. If those Murlocs were automatically put on the field, crazy card, too crazy. But if we were to put it into a Murloc deck, it might work. Who knows? Because there is another card. It's a 4-cost card. I believe it's got decent stats, like a 2/4, 3/4 Murloc. That says whenever I think it has overload. Oh, interesting. We got disabled that though. It says whenever a Murloc dies, draw a card. I believe that's what it says. Yeah, almost certain. Which again, interesting, and it's an epic, so you can have 2 of them in your deck. and it gives a bit of slowness. It slows down my locks a little bit, at least for Shaman. So, could be good, could be bad, hard to say. Definitely a little bit of innovation, which is, you know, what you're looking for in Goblins vs. Gnomes. Everyone and their mother and their father and their immediate family in totality will be innovating in Goblins vs. Gnomes. The meta will not settle down for at least a fortnight, maybe not even for a month. New decks are going to be coming from left, right and centre. And who knows, maybe Paladin is going to be insanely powerful. Maybe we're going to see Hunter continue to be really powerful because they got a buttload of really good decks. One thing I will predict is that Priest will be insane. I was looking at the cards, I was judging cards, and, you know, I was thinking, okay, this card is good, this card is shit, this card could be either way. Priest, every single one of the cards, save perhaps one, this is a nice trinket, could be better, save one, are good, unarguably good. The one that could be bad, could technically not be good, is a epic, I think it's called like a I don't know what it's called. It's a 1/1, deal 3 damage to both heroes. So, no, sorry, it's a 2/1, deal 3 damage to both heroes. So it's basically an aggro burst deck. You know, you don't care about the damage since you are a priest who can freaking heal themselves. So who knows? We might see that. We might see some new priest rush down meta, with Mind Blast and what have you. But I will be honest, probably not. Priest just isn't that good at that stuff. There's the trip thing that we didn't set off. We've done a lot of exploring here, haven't we? And we have been recording for like an hour now. Sheesh, a lot of talking. It's probably all real boring for anyone who doesn't know anything about Hearthstone. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon. I'm just gonna go up to base and we'll finish it up. Oh god, what were we talking about? Man, innovation? Gonna be happening. It's gonna be really fun. We're gonna see all sorts of shit going on. Let's just probably show you what these climbing claws do, if I can get a chance to. It just says that. So you can do that and then jump off. So I could technically do this. Hold on. I don't know if I can even do it from here. You probably didn't see that, but you can climb up walls. It's actually pretty bad without the climbing claws, which means you can just stay in place. Which we're unlikely to see, unfortunately. The amount of innovation is going to make the game really interesting, make it feel like a whole new game type thing. I'm sure that's what Blizzard intended. And overall, it's going to be a really interesting month or so after this, and even more so for me. For those of you who don't know, they have also announced the release date for Goblins vs. Gnomes is the 8th, which for me, living on the other side of the world for most people, means I'm going completely the wrong way. 9th. You can probably guess where I live now. But yeah, that is really cool. It's coming up real soon. That's why all these cards were released. All the cards from the expansion were released. Hello, mouse. And it's going to be really exciting, and I cannot wait for that. And I'm sure quite a lot of you cannot wait either. And we'll see how much the meta changes. Maybe Paladin will be super powerful. Priest will be super powerful. We might see, let's see, Rogue. We might see Mech. Well, see Mech everything. Mech Warrior looks very powerful. They're legendary. Basically, puts a Pyroblast into the hand of the enemy. That when they draw it, it doesn't put it in the hand, into the deck. And when they draw it, it does 10 damage to them. And they get you also get a 5/6. I think it's 5/6 or 5. It'd be 6. So play that. Take it back to your hand with Brewmaster. Play it again. Another Brewmaster. Play again. You basically only one. You just have to sit back and wait for them to die horribly. Warrior's gonna be cool. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done here, as the fireflies are showing up. I will bid you adieu. Thank you very much for watching and listening to me rant about Hearthstone in Terraria for just about an hour. I will see you next time.